Good morning. Hi, Julie. How's it
Hi, I
going?
feel like we haven't left from my little perch here in Boston from last night. What's going on?
Uh, you know, I don't want to go down the dark path here, but obviously for us, we don't really love what happened last night in New York, but we're trying to move forward today and have a plan and talk about the things that are going on. So, Julie,
I had a hard time sleeping last night. I'll be honest with you. I am
me
deeply
too.
unhappy about what's happening. Um, and I'm sorry about that for people who are celebrating. And there are plenty of people here who are celebrating. So I just want to be very clear here that there are people who are happy about what's going on. And if you are happy about what's going on, that's great. There are, people I respect. I'll give you one example. Waj Ali, who I love and I think is wonderful and fantastic. He's very happy about what's going on. But I am not. I am not, because I think for people who don't live in New York, this all looks very great from the outside. For those of us who do live in New York, we just elected the Marjorie Taylor Greene of the Democratic Party, a crazy conspiracy theorist who believes that Joe Biden raped people, who supports Hamas, which
Mhm.
even most Palestinians do not support, because let's not forget that Hamas kills its own people, and is a terrorist organization that throws gay people off buildings and wants to keep women veiled, and is, a fundamentalist jihadist organization. Um,
Mhm.
she is somebody who is parroting talking points, and Olga Lautman, I hope, can join us tomorrow, or join me tomorrow for Pax Americana, because there's something to talk about, just about what this means for Ukraine.
Yep.
Um, look, you were not a fan of Adriano Espaillat. I was not a fan of Adriano Espaillat. He was not the best member of Congress, but he sure as
No.
hell did this.
But he certainly also wasn't some like I don't know. Like, I mean, he was like the head of the Hispanic, he was a definitely like a more progressive member of Congress. And my issue with him was always that he just didn't feel like he did anything. I was like, you don't like, and I, having lived here in the district for as long as I have, like, I just was like, why don't I know you? You know what I mean? Like, why don't I know, and that was really kind of my biggest complaint, is that I felt that he wasn't doing enough. But unfortunately, a lot of people feel that a lot of people weren't doing enough and felt that this is the answer to all of that.
Yeah.
And I very vehemently disagree with that solution. So, but that's that. Um, and yeah, so if you're joining us on Substack, hi, I see you. Hello. Um, we're taking questions from our subscribers on Substack this morning. So Jane from Pittsburgh says that she's with you, Julie. She remembers the Birdie Bros. This is the same vibes, and that is not good. And I agree. And hello, Jason Odell. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. What's fascinating to me is that for all the colonial occupier oppressor bullshit that they constantly tout about Israel, while ignoring the fact that they are basically mostly white, educated, colonial oppressive occupiers, gentrifiers of places like Bed-Stuy, excuse, there's my crazy dog, of places like Washington Heights. I mean, Michelle, I have lived in and around New York City. Let me tell you something. Here's a crazy story about Michelle's congressional district, where Etta, whatever her name is, Etta Lizia
Chevalier.
Chevalier, just won. When my family first moved to the United States in 1980, I think I told you the story, Michelle. When we first came here, we had literally no money. And the first couple of
Mhm.
weeks, we lived in a hotel, the Hotel Greystone, which, by the way, is still there. I think it's
Oh,
condos now.
wow.
Pretty high end. I think it's on 90th or 91st and Broadway.
Oh,
Um, it was back then a complete Fleabag hotel. The neighborhood was absolutely awful. It was called Heroin Alley, that part of the Upper West Side, because people were literally
dang.
dealing heroin on the street corner. Today, it is a very fancy, expensive neighborhood
Yeah, wow.
with an Equinox gym right across the street. But
Which
anyway, yeah,
so expensive, yeah.
yeah, which is very expensive. But back in 1980, it was a total shithole.
Yeah.
And so we had 2 weeks to live there. A refugee organization had settled us there for 2 weeks and basically told us in 2 weeks, like, you got to find a place to live. So my parents didn't know anything, and they just knew that Manhattan was the nice borough compared to other places. And so my father found an apartment in Washington Heights, which is where part of the heart of this district is, where she went, where
Mm-hmm.
and he went there and he spoke to the landlord in his very broken English, my dad. And my dad and I don't know, my skin's gotten a little lighter over the years. I don't know why, but when I was little, it was a little bit more like a little bit more tan. And my father, and I don't know why both of us have gotten, it's like a Michael Jackson thing. Mine is a surgery. Like as we've gotten older, we've gotten, I guess, the blood.
Yeah, you definitely have like a lot of olive undertones.
Yeah,
like,
well, I was much more olive, and so was my dad when we were younger. Plus, it was a very hot May, as I remember, when we moved here, and so we both tanned very easily. Doesn't matter. The point is, my dad shows up, and he says in his very broken English, "I'd like to rent your apartment." And the guy says, "I'm not renting to Puerto Ricans," which is, of course, totally legal. But my father had no clue about the fact that it was illegal. And my father goes, "But I'm not Puerto Rican. I'm Russian." And the guy goes, "Don't try to bullshit me. Russians are blonde. You're Puerto Rican."
What?
And he would not rent an apartment to my dad. And my father, that's how we ended up living in the Bronx, which is where I spent the first, I don't know, 6-7 years of my life in the United States was in a place called Parkchester in the Bronx, because this guy in Washington Heights would not rent us this apartment. The point is that Washington Heights at the time was full of Puerto Rican immigrants. I guess this landlord was like the last bastion of not wanting to rent to them, but full of people of color. And it continued to be full of people of color. And it continued to be this very vibrant, and even where you live, Michelle, which is a little south of that. What I love about your neighborhood is, you guys, there are no Starbucks. There's no chain restaurants, as far as I know, Michelle. It is like a true New York City neighborhood.
Oh, it's the best. I love it.
It's like a throwback neighborhood of like bodegas.
Yeah.
And mom and
pop. And guys on the corner playing checkers and dominoes, and like, your bodega guy, I remember when I lived in Harlem back in 2009. And again, like, this was during a time that like it was on its way to being a little gentrified during that time, but like still was like, I mean, there was somebody murdered outside my apartment. Like it was like bang, bang, bang. He's dead. And like, I was like, oh my God. And that really happened. But I say all that to say, it's like, it was definitely like a culture shock to me first moving there. But once you realize like how things work in places like this, it was like everything was small. Everything was local. Everybody knew each other. All the guys sitting out on the corner, right? All the old guys in their chairs would be like, "Hey, mama," whatever. And I would get so irritated. I'm like, until you realize that they just literally wanted to say hello. And once you start saying hello back, they look out for you and they watch you and they make sure that you get home okay. And like, that's what these neighborhoods are like.
It is like the greatest.
It's fantastic. I love it.
It's the greatest neighborhood. However, thanks to the fact that New York is becoming less and less affordable for people, people are continuing to move to these neighborhoods and starting to gentrify them. And the same thing happened in Brooklyn and places like Bed-Stuy. If everybody remembers, I walked through Bedford. What's the name of my motorcycle? What was the Billy Joel song? You may be right. Remember the Billy Joel song?
Oh, yeah. I worked through Bedford-Stuy.
Yeah, and basically, like back when he wrote that in the 70s or early 80s, it was like, I was stranded in the combat zone. I walked through Bedford-Stuy alone. Well, Bedford-Stuy, that was like, well, holy shit, you walk through Bedford-Stuy alone? Nobody does that. Jay-Z is from the Marcy Project in Bedford-Stuy. Like, those were awful. Now I go to Bedford-Stuy.
There's like plays written about Red Hook. Right.
Yeah. Right. I go to Bedford-Stuy now. I have my son has a friend who lives in Bedford-Stuy, and oh my God, Bed-Stuy is
so nice.
It's so nice. Completely gentrified. Well, who gentrified it? Who's gentrifying Harlem? Speaking of white colonial oppressors, who's gentrifying Washington Heights?
There's a Whole Foods on 125th Street.
Yeah. Who's gentrifying? Who's gentrifying Bed-Stuy? Who's gentrifying Washington Heights? Who elected this woman? Because she lost in the Bronx, where people of color lived or continue to live.
Yeah.
She won.
Yeah, she won voters in Manhattan.
Won white voters in Manhattan. And these
Very
gentrified
similarly to Mamdani.
very similar to
Mhm.
Mamdani. Mamdani was not supported by the Black community, and so on. And so I'm only saying this to say that these people are full of shit. They are supported by wealthy white gentrifiers or young kids who are living off their parents' credit card who think that they're like creating the next revolution. And in fact, they're living off their parents' credit card. And come on.
It's not all of them, but it is a vast majority
It is a vast
kids
majority.
with college education. Yeah. Yep.
And this is the woman who, and I don't have a claim to this. I mean, I'm white and I'm college educated and I, you know, have a credit card and so on. So I'm not pretending. You know, awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And like, listen, I mean, the turnout, I don't know how many Democrats live in New York 13, but it was an abysmal turnout. I talked to the poll workers yesterday morning when I went in to vote. My husband and I were like, how's it been this morning? And they were like, really quiet. They're like, there's not, you know, and mind you, like the election districts, like on actual election day, same day voting, like it's like every couple blocks, right? There's a voting place. So, you know, you're really just kind of bringing in voters from like a 2-block radius, but still, like, I mean, I remember plenty of times I've gone in on election day and it's been like hustle and bustling. And there was like, I was one of 3 voters in there at 9:00 in the morning, which is like, what? So it was an abysmal turnout. I don't know that people realized what really was going on, except for the people who were super, super engaged in, you know, in her and maybe the progressive voting bloc. And
well, people who
you
think
know,
Zohran Mamdani walks on water. And let me tell you something.
right.
Zohran Mamdani is going to have the biggest, rudest awakening in the world because Zohran Mamdani, being the mayor of New York is the second toughest job in the country after president. Like there's no there's no tougher job in
you're overseeing like the biggest like terrorism task unit. Like you're dealing with a lot of 8 million people,
a lot of different constituencies, and all of these constituencies are organized. And let me tell you something, first of all, he's very inspirational, he's very charismatic, he's a great orator. He ran against a really flawed candidate in Andrew Cuomo. And he's 33 or 34 years old and he has zero experience. And so he took all the political capital that he had, of which he has a lot at the moment because he's only been around for a few months and people are giving him the benefit of the doubt. And he blew it all on getting these people elected. But now, quote, Colin Powell, you break it, you own it, the Pottery Barn rule. He now owns them. And when they go to
100%,
when they go to Congress next year and start wreaking havoc and start voting, they're not. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries is not going to be speaker. It's going to be the situation that we had, or if he is, it's going to be because he's going to sell himself out to them on, you know.
He's going to do a little dance for everybody, and I mean, he's having a bad morning. He's having a bad morning.
But don't forget, look, you have those people, but then you have like I'm thinking about all the members of Congress who are there now. They're not going to go for this shit.
Oh, hell no. Listen, we talked about this briefly last night. How much harder is it going to be for Jon Ossoff to win his reelection campaign in November in Georgia? Which then is going to, you know, dictate whether or not he runs for president. How much harder is it going to be for Alex Vindman to run for Senate in Florida? How much harder is it going to be for James Tallarico to win his Senate race in Texas on a year like this? It should be listen, of all the years where Democrats were going to run in places that we wouldn't normally even like invest in, this was the year, right? Because Donald Trump is so historically unpopular. Republicans are so historically unpopular and the things that they're doing, that this was our moment. And I really am very listen, I've heard from many, I'm not going to call out anybody's name because I don't want to do that, but I have heard from many people this morning who work in this space who are moderates, independents, former Republicans, people like that, who are like, what the F is going on in New York? I'm like, don't look at me. I didn't do it. So,
Hey,
you know,
man,
usually
the guy I voted for won yesterday. Thank you, God, for
yeah,
electing
listen,
Michael Lasher, because Michael Lasher is normal. And do you think Michael Lasher is going to go for this shit? Like, he's not.
oh yeah, no.
Do you think that across the river, all of the members of Congress who are, well, the normal ones are going to go for this? Hell no. Tom Suozzi out on Long Island? Hell no.
Yeah, he just won. He won his primary last night. I have a question here because Johnny is asking, is there a Mayday live that I don't see? I see one here for Michelle, but not for Mayday. Sorry. I'm probably doing something stupid. You're not. I do see it under mine and it's under Mayday, I think, but I don't know. But it is just for like paid subscribers, I think. So because there's a obviously a much smaller number here, but we're just taking questions from the Substack chat. But I don't set up the Substack because that's Julie's expertise.
I might have screwed it up because I didn't sleep last night, so I apologize in advance.
No, don't worry about it. I just want to make sure that everybody's good and everybody's cool. Yeah. It looks as though this is the right amount of people for a chat like this, so I think we're okay. But just FYI, everybody, I'm like the biggest boomer when it comes to Substack. I have no clue what's going on, so I leave all that to
the Bass. I know we're not supposed to take questions from the YouTube chat, but this is a very sweet thing. Julie, are you still in Boston? I'm going with my son tonight to Cambridge to watch his adult kickball playoff games. I could probably get you a free ticket. So I really appreciate that. I actually have plans tonight with a very, very old college friend who I haven't seen in a very long time. And I'm so excited to have dinner with him, my friend Mark, who's the absolute best. I'd love to go watch your son play kickball, and good luck to him, but I unfortunately have plans tonight. I am still, yes, I am. As you can hear by this dog, stuck in this hotel room with. As much as the view here is beautiful, I'm right on the Esplanade, and I don't know if you can see the river, the Charles behind me. Oh my God, please stop barking. But this dog has been trapped in this hotel room for a long time.
By the way, my dad texted me about you and the dog the other day because they had missed the live show, and so they were watching it after the fact. And my dad was like, gets such a kick out of you and the dog, and he thinks it's very funny and like it's comedy. Like he's like he's like Julie might be annoyed by the dog, but it's very funny.
Mr. Kenny, it's very funny. Much like when you have a baby, they're very sweet, and then you give them back to the parents. It's very cool to watch her. But unfortunately, I'm stuck with her. She's actually she's turning into a good dog. She's good. She's a sweet little dog. She's just a puppy. She's got puppy.
Yeah. Oh, look at those ears too. They're like the size of her whole face.
Bigger for people who've been following little Maggie Mayday's journey. She's gotten much bigger in the last few weeks. And but the ears have gotten bigger too, and she's very sweet, and we love her. And she's growling because I think she wants to play, and I'm going to take her out. And the problem was when I take this
picture of her on my phone.
How cute. Yeah, I took her out to for a walk the other day at this Esplanade, and she basically she was so cute. She was running along the little Esplanade, and oh God, what is she biting now? And people were stopping me. They're like, "Could we take a picture of her? Could we take a picture?" Oh my God! All right, hold on. She's grabbing something.
Yep.
Right here.
Yep. You know, I will say that like I grew up with dogs, and I miss having a dog. There's something about having a dog, and this is why they say people with dogs live longer. I think it's because you go outside with them and you walk with them and you exercise with them, and you just, you're breathing the air outside. And that's the one thing about having a dog that I think that I would really love, and like going to the dog park and things like that. But, they don't have cat parks. They don't have cat parks, sadly.
Yeah. She, so we have Hagrid, our first dog who we still have, who's the best. Love Hagrid. And everybody's all like, "Oh, Maggie," but everybody kind of forgets that.
Haggy
and Maggie. Haggie's the best. And my husband runs
such a good dog.
Hagrid's the best dog. My husband runs with Hagrid. He can't run with Maggie because she's too little. Her little
Too
legs won't
little.
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he runs. Yeah, he runs with Hagrid in Central Park every day. And my husband is crazy and has this streak where he's done a 5K every single day for the past 30 years, more probably. Never missed a day. Did it with broken ribs. Did it with
I don't. Did it with bombs flying on you in
with bombs
Israel?
flying. We were in Israel. He literally went out. I'm like, there's ballistic missiles coming at us. He's like, I think I'll be okay. I'm like, you're going to die. Literally, we're watching like the ballistic missiles being shot. And he's like, I think I'll be okay. Yes, but running in a war zone. We got off the plane in Japan, and immediately when we get to the hotel, after a 15-hour flight in economy, we're all sitting like this, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to die. And he's like, I'm going to go for a run. So he's a complete addict. But the point is, he runs with Hagrid every day, and I think it's good for Hagrid. I think Hagrid obviously is a healthy, very healthy dog because he gets so much exercise in the morning.
Oh yeah.
My husband loves it. He's a little running
pal.
So he's dogs are the best. I love dogs.
Yeah, they're the best. I miss my dog all the time. He was just the best.
I'm just looking at what she's doing here.
Just something from Substack. Patricia, I'm a boomer and I'm a paid subscriber. I take issue with using it as a pejorative. I apologize.
Oh my God.
I will say,
what sort of using boomer as a pejorative?
Yeah. Although the Gen Zs make fun of the millennials all the time, and like they call us boomers. So
my husband. First of all, my husband is a boomer. I love boomers.
Yeah.
My son calls me boomer. He's like, okay, boomer. I'm like, I'm Gen X. I'm not a boomer. He's like, you're a boomer. He's like, your attitude.
Yeah, like the Gen Z kids call me boomer.
Yeah.
So, you know, and they're like, okay. And I'm like, I was born in the 80s. Stop. But anyways, I really, really don't know anything about Substack. So, but I do appreciate Patricia. She is a longtime, member of the Mayday world and community and family. So we love that she's here. And so thank you so much. Johnny said, not a question, but I spent some time reading up on Darylisa Villa Chevalier and was absolutely horrified.
Yes. Yes.
That's like at first I was like, oh, who is this? What's going on here? And same. And like that literally has been like, I've crossed into the dark place because of all of this. I really, really have. So let me see. Kristen Meyer, Minneapolis is losing a dog park. The entitled people are griping about it. It is going back to Native Americans. Good. Let's give them something back. I don't know what that's about, actually.
Back to the land to the Native Americans? Like, what are they
I don't know. I'm just reading. I have no idea. Okay. Johnny though said, I'm Gen X and I feel attacked.
You're Gen X and you feel what?
Attacked. Gen X is called boomers too. See, exactly. Like we're all called.
Okay, for Johnny, like we're Gen X. We're used to being attacked, ignored, raising ourselves, latchkeying ourselves. Like
listen,
we have no expectation.
We were called the me generation over and over. Millennials, we were like, oh, your lattes and your avocado toast. I want to be like, bitch, for real? Like, we are the only generation who has not moved to the right as we're getting older. We're the only ones.
That's true.
I know. You guys elected Donald Trump. We didn't.
I know.
And like,
I know.
Because we're the ones who graduated from college into a recession with interest rates for student loans like through the roof, no jobs, 9/11. Like, I mean, there's not to say that other generations haven't experienced things, but like just from like the get-go into adulthood, we're like, yeah, okay, we're not doing this. And because of that, we have stayed exactly where we are. Again, we are the only ones who have not moved to the right. Johnny says, I'm not being serious. That was a vain attempt at humor. Oh, I know. Let's see. Krista's saying that the dog park was native burial ground. That's what she was saying. Yeah. That makes more sense now. She's like, they're getting their land back that we gave them with the state park, land up in northern Minnesota. Okay, that makes a lot of sense now. Jason Odell, anyone need a drink? I can turn on the garden hose. Yeah, truly.
I did not sleep much last night. I like the way I
sleep well either.
The way I finally turn off my brain is I read a fiction book. I just stop responding to texts. I stopped. Michelle, if I don't respond to your texts, it's because I literally
No, it's fine. I know that you were like not looking
started
at
reading
your
a
phone.
book, and I was reading, and my mind was kind of wandering, and then I fell asleep for a few hours, and then I woke up this morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I know. I was when I woke up this morning, I felt like, you know, when you wake up and you're like, I still should be asleep. Like my body, like I'm really having a hard time. That's how I felt this morning.
yeah.
Yeah. And again, like if anybody here is watching on our subscriber chat on Substack, if you have anything you want to say or ask us, we're here. Happy to talk about whatever, within reason, obviously. But someone is asking, I know we're not supposed to pull anything from the YouTube chat today, but someone is asking about the New Jersey congressman who hasn't been seen in a few months.
Tom Kean Jr. Tom Kean Jr. is supposed to be resurrecting himself, I think, at the end of this month. And will tell us where he has been.
He has risen. Yeah.
He has risen. I've known Tom Kean Jr. a really long time. So he's a very nice man. He's completely without a spine. He doesn't believe one thing that Donald Trump believes, and yet he votes with him like 100% of the time. It's a shame because his family, his father was Tom Kean, Governor Tom Kean. Remember New Jersey, New Perfect together? Remember that? That was Tom Kean, his dad. Very, 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 very popular Republican governor of New Jersey. He then went on to chair the 9/11 Commission. And Tom Kean was a very moderate. Tom Kean is of the old Republican
school.
I
remember that. Yeah.
And his grandfather was in the House, I think, or in the Senate or something. Like the point is, the Keans go back to revolutionary days in New Jersey. Very, very old family of public service. They're kind of like the Kennedys of New Jersey. But speaking of Kennedy, we'll get to that in a minute. But he and Tom Kean, it's a shame because I personally don't think Tom Kean wants to be in the House. I think if his name was like John Smith and not Tom Kean, he obviously wouldn't be in that. And I think he's like the Prince of Wales. Like, I think he had no choice but to go into government, and I don't think he wanted to be in government.
Do you think it was like go into government or else we disown you, or like, you know, that kind of thing? Or
no, I don't think it's like that. I think it's just like,
I mean, like that's aggressive.
No, I think it's like, this is your destiny. Like, I served, your grandfather served, your great grandfather served. One of them signed the Declaration of Independence. Like, you got to do it. He's got a twin brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Declaration of Independence?
I think so. I think one of the Keans signed it.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. You know, I have a friend who I was talking to. She was like, I have two ancestors who signed the Declaration of Independence. And I was like, girl, what? And she was like, yeah, isn't that crazy? And she like pointed them to me like on the thing. And I was like, that's crazy. That's cool. I know. I was like, that the chances of something like that happening are very slim.
I had two ancestors in the shuttle.
that what?
The shuttle.
I know. Well, remember I said to you, I think I said to you and your husband, it was last time I was over there. I was like, for as long as some of my family has been here, like we should have streets named after us. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be richer. We should have things, but we do. That's fine.
All right. I'm going to take this tab here. I know we're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to say this. What's up with Indivisible's endorsements? Friends, I'm not going to any more No Kings rallies. Nope. Finish with Indivisible. Not going. Not going. They should never have involved themselves in these primaries. Not going. I am boycotting the No Kings rallies from now on. Sorry. If you want to divide the Democratic coalition, you want to divide the Democratic Party by not just making endorsements, but being strident in your endorsement, then I'm not interested.
Yep. It felt extremely divisive. Literally, I mean, here's the thing. Last night, I understand that I'm not going to agree with everyone. And not everyone's going to agree with me, but something about this has felt so aggressive and so not okay.
In her victory speech. Like, it used to be that you try to, you have listen, primaries, I have been involved in a billion primaries. They suck. I hate primaries. I will take a good general election over primary any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Election, like, you got our team, and then you got their team.
You're not dealing with like 8 teams, right?
But here in the primary, you're fighting against your own team. It's like a family fight, right? And it's so much more personal because it's a family fight. But that's the whole point about a family fight. Once it's over, you try to bring the family together. This woman went negative on Espiat and her.
It's very, very Trumpy. All of this is very Trumpy. And that's the thing. It's like This is exactly the shit that we hate and have been calling out on the right for years. And it's the same type of behavior. And like, again, we're hiding behind all of these things. Well, don't you want affordability? And don't you care about the people of Gaza? Don't you care? Of course. But this is not it. If those were the things that we were actually running on, like about affordability and gas prices and housing and reproductive rights and all of these things, if these were the things that we're actually running on, that would, like, I feel like last night would not have felt like how it does. But that's not what it was, and that's not what this is. So, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is at this point. There's nothing we can do about it except, move forward and try to do something about it.
And just coming to the question, what do you think about the call to boycott everything? Sporting events, streaming services, shopping at X, etc. I mean, listen, nothing would make me happier if I could break my addiction to Amazon. Like, it's really convenient.
Mhm.
Like really convenient. Like, I don't know where I'm going to get. I live in New York. I don't really want to. I don't know where I'm going to get, 50 rolls of Bounty.
At least you have a place to store 50 rolls of Bounty.
Right. Well, I have.
But the thing is, well, yeah, you have storage.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, it's with that, like, for instance, like books, when I buy books, I try really hard to not buy books on Amazon, because I'm like, I'm going to go, first of all, I'm going to go to a locally owned small bookshop. So I always try to go to Book Culture first in New York, which is like a bookstore chain. I guess there's like 5 or 6 of them in New York. Or I go to the Strand or Shakes & Co. or something like that.
Shakes & Co. shut down.
I know. And there was one up by me too. And then like that one shut down too. I was like, this is too bad. But yeah, so, there's a book that I really wanted to buy. Well, I didn't actually want to buy it. I'll just say it. I feel like because of what it is that we do, I had to read Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman's book, even though I cannot stand her and I cannot stand the idea of this book happening. I felt that I needed to read it, especially after V at Under the Desk News said, they said the same thing. They were like, this book is unfortunately very good and everyone should probably know what's in it. So I was going around trying to find it on all these places and I can't find it. And then I look on Amazon, and of course, then it's like sold out on Amazon. Like, no one has this book anywhere. But then I was like, okay, well,
get it on Kindle. Just get it digital.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
See, I read stuff on Kindle. I can't read.
Like the light in my face. I'm like, I can't. I need the light.
I can't read hard books anymore because my eyesight has just gone downhill.
Really? I just upped my prescription actually for that, and I have a little book light that goes around my neck. And it like bends and it goes right into the book. And so I hold it like this.
As opposed to just reading it on your phone here? Like, really?
Oh God, no. That's like bad for my eyes and my brain, I think. No, I want to put my phone away. You know what I mean?
Well,
I need to separate.
Very Rosie, you asked me what I'm doing in Boston. It's not tennis, it's squash.
Oh yeah. Are you on the Substack chat now? Are you looking at that? Yeah. Okay. Because I was gonna say, yeah. A docent cat said, neither did I. Started listening to Zev Shalev. Start talking to Denver Riggleman and shut it off. I was a buzz. Random question for Julie. Squash is going to be in the 2028 Olympics. This is from Claudia Smurthwaite. Is your son eyeing them?
The 28 Olympics, he's not good. And I mean, the problem with my son is he hasn't hit his growth spurt yet.
Yeah.
So he's playing against kids. He's very, very good. He's very, very fast, but he's playing against kids who've really gone through puberty already. And my son hasn't. And so he's very strong, but he's not as strong as they are because.
Yeah. So you really won't know yet, like how good he's going to be.
We won't know. I mean,
yeah.
If he hits his growth spurt the next year, I mean, he's very good, but he's not.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're still to be recruited by colleges already, like he's not
right,
at that
right.
level. The funny thing is, so we're in Boston, we're in Cambridge actually, which is where, for people who don't know, Boston and Cambridge it's separated by the very narrow Charles River. Like you can't see where I am, but yeah, maybe you can make out a little building behind me.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Boston. So I'm in Cambridge. That's Boston. I could walk across the street right now and be there in 5 minutes. So, but we were driving to breakfast this morning because I'm tired of the hotel breakfast, and my son, for some reason, is like, I've never been to IHOP. I really want to go to IHOP. I'm like, IHOP. For people who don't know, IHOP is the International House of Pancakes. It is a horrible American chain.
You know, it's funny. We didn't have IHOP anywhere near me growing up. So when we would go on like road trip to Florida or something,
that's where you go. You
and
go to
I
IHOP,
saw,
or Taco
I was
Bell.
like, oh my God, IHOP. Oh my God. So I
So
kind of understand.
anyway, he's like, I'm dying to try IHOP. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Because I went to college in Boston. In fact, I could see, if I looked that way, I could see across the river, my old
Right.
Boston University, where I went to school. When I was in grad school, I lived in this very tiny studio apartment. And I, as Michelle can tell you, I'm a massive hoarder. So I never threw anything out. So therefore, I was living amongst like piles of papers and piles of books and piles of clothes. And like it was a very, very small apartment right by Fenway Park in Boston. And so in order, like I had to get out of the apartment. It was so awful. I had to get out. So I had a car my last year here, which was kind of a stupid thing to have because I was in a city, but I had it. And I would drive to this IHOP, this 24-hour IHOP that was open. I forgot what town it was in. It wasn't in Boston. And because I had no money, but they had unlimited coffee. So I'd buy a cup of coffee and I would sit there with my laptop. And this is before you really had the internet. So like I was reading it. It was a it wasn't even a laptop. I'm sorry. It was a word processor.
Word processor. I had one of those. Yeah.
And I would bring my heavy word processor and I would sit there.
Yeah, those things were like big.
Yeah. Big. But I had a little booth that they always gave me and I would sit there. So I guess I said that to him at one point that I was like, oh my God, I spent so much time at the IHOP outside Boston. So he's like, I want to know we're in Boston. I want to try IHOP. So we go to IHOP. There's one in Harvard, right off Harvard Square in Cambridge. And we're driving through the Harvard part of Cambridge and it's beautiful. I mean, Harvard, for people who've never been here, it's gorgeous. It's just this old colonial, it was built in 1630. Or it was founded in 1630. So these houses are just incredible. They're just
it's super old and pretty and
and anyway. And he's like, yeah, I don't think so. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, this place just, I don't know.
What?
He's like, don't think this place is for me. I'm like,
he's such a New York kid.
I'm like, who the hell do you think you are?
I know.
If you are lucky enough to get into Harvard, you're going to consider going here. And he's like, yeah, I mean, the squash facilities here are just not what they are elsewhere. Like,
oh my God. I'm going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk
again. This is called a New York City kid. Like, this is what, by the way, these are the people who are electing, not my son, but these are the people who are electing, who are having the revolution where they want to elect
without actually having to do anything.
Without having to do anything, right? Like, I don't think so. I'm like, really? Really? Okay.
Johnny is saying also, he says, he goes, last night, a lot of this finally clicked for me. There's a left version of MAGA now, and it's deeply concerning. Correct.
Yep.
Let's see. Jason Odell said, if I boycotted everything I've been told to boycott, I wouldn't eat. That's true. Let's see. One more question. Would you be open to interviewing Denver Riggleman? Yeah, I know Denver.
God, I love Denver.
Yeah, he was on the advisory board of Seneca. Well, I think he still is advisory board of Seneca Project. Actually, he was one of the first people to support us. So I love Denver.
I love Denver. But why are you? Well, I mean, the answer, of course, is yes. And I think we have interviewed Denver. At least I've had him.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I haven't.
I've had him in the salt.
I mean, at Seneca Project, yeah, I did.
Yeah, but I did Denver say or do something? Oh, yes, Denver's talking about potentially running for governor of Virginia, right? As an independent.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I saw that last night.
Yes, Denver is going to run for governor of Virginia. Virginia it's interesting. Virginia, she's term limited out. They're one and done in Virginia.
Right.
So Abigail Spanberger, good, bad, and different, cannot run for re-election.
But she could leave and then come back and run again, like how Terry McAuliffe did. Lost. But
the point is, she can't run for a consecutive term. So I see what she wants to run.
Yeah. Let me see. Someone told me once Amazon takes up 80% of funds from book sales. I'm not sure how much truth there is in that. I mean, it started as a book thing, right?
Yeah. But it was a loss leader. He knew what he was doing. He was trying to get people hooked, but then it was a loss leader, basically.
Yeah. He's such a terrible person.
Yeah.
Jane from Pittsburgh, I do feel scummy when I order Amazon, but it's way too convenient. Also, as far as
Yeah.
books are concerned, we have no good independent local bookstores around here. I say the same thing. I talk to my parents about this, who are their, in their mid 70s. And like, first of all, living in a small town in rural America, you can't get things.
But Jane,
You know
you're
what I
in
mean?
Pittsburgh.
Like,
There are no independent books. I mean, are you in Pittsburgh or are you just from
well,
Pittsburgh?
she might, I mean, yeah, she might be
Tell
from
us, because
outside the area. Yeah.
By the way, if anybody's ever in New York City and you
Mhm.
are ever visiting Union Square in New York City, which you should if you're in New York, it's
Mhm.
a landmark and it's a famous place and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Right off of Union Square on University Place, I think it's at
Mhm.
their university, is the most magical bookstore outside of the very famous bookstore in Portland, Oregon, the name of which I can't remember, which is also very, very good. But this is called the Strand. And the
Mm.
Strand is this amazing bookstore. But if you go up, I forgot what floor it's on, maybe the third or
You know,
fourth.
I've never been to that Strand. I've only been to the one on the Upper West Side.
Oh, no. That's an offshoot. The real Strand is
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah,
so
I've never been.
you should go, because on the third or fourth floor, they have rare books.
Mm.
And
Isn't
nobody
that there's a scene from When Harry Met Sally in right?
wasn't the
They're
Strand.
like,
It was Shakes and Co.
oh, because she's like, there's someone staring at you in
Yeah.
personal growth.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't Shakes and Co. It was oh God, Brentano's.
Oh, okay. All right.
Brentano's, which
Oh,
is
what's
also-
the other one? What's the other bookstore? Rizzoli's or something? RIZZ. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah. But the ones that I
Yeah,
remember, yeah,
I went to a book signing with Dita Von Teese there, and I was like, "What is this place? Why don't I know this?" I love it.
yeah,
my
but
book.
if you go up to that rare bookstore part of the Strand, rare books part of the Strand, like it is, some people like.
Yeah, some people collect like first edition.
Some people go, well, like I try. I mean, so I've always, whenever I want to do something meaningful for my husband, which I can never afford to do, like what I hope I ever have the money to do, and I have, because he's a huge Dickens fan, he's a big fan of Christmas Carol, is I've always said if I had
Christmas Carol, really?
A huge fan of the Christmas Carol, reads it out loud every Christmas Eve. He's had that tradition.
Wow.
Well,
really?
His first marriage, and has continued it, and it's just
I did a production of A Christmas Carol off Broadway a number of years ago, and it was like a really wonderful. I was like, it's a beautiful story. It really is like
story. But he's also just a massive Dickens fan. And and I've always said, if I had, and I've looked to see how much first editions of A Christmas Carol are, and they're completely unaffordable. I mean, they're like 20, 30,000. It's not anything anybody can buy. But
yeah, no, it's like crazy money.
I've always said, if I had unlimited money, or maybe just a lot of money, because I don't think $20,000 is unlimited money. It's just you're really, really rich if you can spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
I've always said that's what I would do. I would go Strand, and I would ask them to try to find for me a first edition of A Christmas Carol, and I would give it to him. And I cannot think of anything in the world that would make him happier. And so
1 million American dollars. Like, you know what I mean? So expensive.
So if I ever made a tremendous amount of money, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Someone's saying library. How about the library? I think they're talking about me and the book. Here's the thing about the library. They only have a few copies of things. I feel like I don't even bother, because it's like they don't have it. They're not going to have it. I'm going to have to wait weeks to get it. You're really competing with 8 million other people to try to get a book. And I'm sure it works for some people. I just don't. But this is LOL, your New York just bust out of you. I can't find it. I don't know. What did I say? I'm behind in the chat. I listen to audiobooks so I can multitask and exercise and chores. Totally. I think if I didn't have such like ADD, like I would be like, often when I listen to a podcast, I have to go back and rewind. I was like, my mind wandered.
I listen to audiobooks in the car. So I told you, for people who want a break, a brain break, like just, you want to just not think about life. Daniel Silva has the series, and I think it's like, he's up to like book 30 or something, but the series started, I think, in the year 2000, if not even earlier. If people watch CNN and they know who Jamie Gangel is, was, a reporter at CNN, you know her. Michelle, if you saw her face, you'd know her. Daniel Silva is her husband. He's an incredible writer, and he's always #1 in the New York Times bestseller list. Every July, he puts out a new book in the series. but it's about a spy named Gabriel Allon, and it's so good. And I've been reading this for like every July. I get excited because he's got a new one coming out. But then
Oh, really?
after all these years, I've forgotten, the first 20 because you obviously don't remember. It's like crack. You read them and you
Yeah.
right.
I can't remember the last time I read a fiction book. Like,
So
I
that's
was like
my point. So that's
decades.
so I decided I'm going to start reading them again from the beginning. Because why the hell not? And it's great. That's what I'm reading before I go to bed. Like, it's such a brain break because it's about stuff that has nothing to do with. I mean, it's political for sure.
Yeah.
Current events for sure.
Right.
But it's, at the end, you things kind of work
That's
out.
how I feel about movies. I made Joe watch Notting Hill with me the other night, and I was like, "See, isn't this so good? Don't you feel so good after you?"
Like
It's
Notting
like
Hill.
candy.
Didn't love Notting Hill.
Girl, do we like any of the same things?
Yeah,
I don't think we do.
Terry McNally.
Okay, there's one thing. What else?
Oh, Casablanca.
Okay, there's two.
Spinal Tap.
What? I don't dislike Spinal Tap. I don't dislike but Waiting for Guffman is my favorite for obvious reasons.
So that's
okay. I'm going through the chat here. Hold on. IHOP was the bomb. I'm very behind here. So IHOP was the bomb in the 70s. Is it possible incrementalist Democrats? Huh?
It still tastes like the food was made in the 70s as I sit here right now. And
well, I mean, listen, a chocolate chip pancake from IHOP. I don't hate it. Let's see. Better than Denny's. Denny's is like no. I always thought that IHOP was much more superior to Denny's.
No, the Denny's patty melt is the best.
Really?
Best. I haven't had it since high school, but that was my favorite.
Moons over my hammy. Okay, so is it possible incrementalist Democrats, in failing to deal with and / prosecute Trump, has frightened people farther to the left? I think that my opinion is that yes, I think it's frightened a lot of people into wanting fighters, right? We want people who are willing to fight and to get up and do things that are unpopular, blah, 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 blah. But the DSA, I think, has sort of entered that, vacuum, right? There's like this space for people to run for office and to be those fighters. And this is kind of who has stepped up in that space. And I think that's kind of what has happened here.
Similar to MAGA. Right. They didn't think during the Obama years that John Boehner and Eric Cantor and all these people were fighting Obama, the strength that they needed to fight him. And so instead of creating fighters who were going to do that, they created fighters who were going to burn everything down.
Correct. Which they have.
The Tea Party and then MAGA. Friends, that's what's like. I got to be honest with you. I remember the gut punch I had yesterday. The gut punch I had when Trump got elected in 2016, where I was catatonic practically, and I had to be on air at Fox for hours trying to pretend that I wasn't catatonic. That was fucking torture. And then the second time he got elected, I wasn't even surprised. I was like it was like it was like having a scar that already existed, so nobody could make you bleed because the skin was already scarred. I was like, all right, like I'm not even gonna fucking sit here and like it wasn't a gut punch. I was like, yeah, okay.
I had a bad feeling. I felt pretty good until I didn't. And about 2 weeks prior, I was like, something doesn't feel right. Something in the water. I don't like it. And I remember my husband calling his my in-laws, his parents, around like 7 o'clock or so it was right when the first set of polls were closing. And my mother-in-law, I heard her on the phone. She's like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. Like, it's going to be fine. And I was like, I was watching the returns come in, and it was like a point or two less in all of these counties. I think it was like North Carolina or Virginia or something. Like that. And it was like less than what Joe Biden had done. And I was like, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a good night.
But the point is that last night I felt not quite as similar as I felt to 16.
It was a familiar feeling.
But it was a familiar feeling because I was like, you know what?
I felt that way too. And I had people screaming at me in my inbox, Julie, screaming at me. Don't you understand? Don't you get it? Why don't you agree? Like, this is where I feel like I'm losing my mind.
I got this fundraising email from the Justice Democrats. Excuse me while I plug my computer in here because it's about to die. From the Justice Democrats. And I'm going to read it to you guys because it's very fascinating. It's a fundraising appeal, right?
Mhm.
And it says, this is after Daraliza Avila Chevalier, right? Breaking
Mhm.
news. Justice Democrat Daraliza Avila Chevalier just defeated a 5-term AIPAC-backed incumbent and won the Democratic primary for New York's 13th congressional district. Then they asked me for money. Then they go on. We just took down one of the last members of the New York political machine in a massive victory for a progressive movement. It comes 8 years after Justice Democrats' first major primary win in NYC when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez unseated powerful longtime incumbent Joe Crowley. We recruited Daraliza to run for Congress after numerous community members nominated her and helped her build and launch one of the most impressive underdog campaigns in the country. A working-class Afro-Latina raised by Dominican immigrant parents, Daraliza has spent her life organizing for the people typical politicians leave behind. Now, this is what the bullet points are. She fought to free Abdikadir Muhammad from ICE detention during Trump's Muslim ban. She organized Colombia's encampment in solidarity with Palestinians. She stood up for Mahmoud Khalil when ICE abducted him from his apartment. She's a proud union member of UAW and a public defense investigator of the Harlem Neighborhood Defense Services. When it became clear that Daraliza could beat Do Nothing Democrat Representative Adriano Espaillat, now they've already won. They're still going negative on him. I hate that. The establishment corporate lobbyists and their super PAC swooped in to spend over $6.7 million to try and save him. Just days before Election Day, it was finally confirmed what many had already assumed. AIPAC was funneling money directly to Bold America PAC, the single largest spender in this race. Then it was revealed that the Democratic Majority for Israel was funneling money into United Progress, both likely funneled millions more to other pop-up PACs in this race, since any money transferred in June will not be reported until after the polls close. But their dark money wasn't enough to win. Okay, so I just want to be clear here. AIPAC, Democrats for Israel, AIPAC, Democrats for Israel, Columbia encampment, Israel. Dark money, P.S. It's not dark money if it's disclosed, and it's disclosed, which is how you know that AIPAC money, right? Otherwise, dark money is a whole different thing. I know how to use money, and this is not dark money.
Dark money is like no labels, in my opinion. Like that's like
how
I look at it.
Dark money it's a 501c4. This is a 527. Yeah.
No, I know. That's what no labels is.
Right. And a
no labels is a C4.
Yeah. People don't know 501c4 is an educational organization where you don't have to disclose your donors. What this is,
as long as you avoid certain words in your messaging and advertising, like you can pretty much do whatever you want.
So the point is, friends, that it's Israel, AIPAC, Democrats for Majority for Israel, whatever the hell that organization is. I don't even know who they are. And you are in a part of New York City that has got serious problems. The Bronx has the highest rate of asthma in the country. Yeah. It is deeply impoverished. I believe it is one of the poorer counties in the country. It is really, really challenged as somebody who grew up there. It is, I took my son there when he was being a brat, when he was 4. And I was like, I want this mommy, I want that mommy. I was like, get in the car, we're driving to where I grew up. So you see what it's like to not have money to ask your mom for everything you want. And he started crying. And he said, I want to go back to New York. And I said, this is New York. And he's like, this isn't New York. I was like, this is New York, buddy. You just don't live in this part of New York. The point is, that's the kind of place that she's not representing.
Yeah.
I promise you on all that is holy that people there don't give a rat's ass about Israel, one way or the other. What they care about is being able to afford their food, afford their health care. Their kids can't breathe because they have asthma, because it's so fucking polluted. And there are real challenges in this district. And what are these people talking about? Encampments at Columbia University. What do they think? Just because she represents Columbia now, which she does, that Columbia is suddenly going to change its tune? Like they give a shit?
Right. Which, by the way, I mean, again, like the area that Columbia University and like all of the students and all of the faculty and everybody lives in, right? I mean, obviously, again, over the last 15, 20 years, there's been a lot of more gentrification in this part of the city, but like it's an affluent area. Like if you've ever seen the show Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, that is the neighborhood in which this is all in. It's the same neighborhood on the southern part of the district. And I just,
Yeah.
I'm without, like, I urge people to go look at the demographic breakdown of the votes for this primary in New York 13, both in demo and geography. You will be surprised.
So I did it's very funny, Michelle. I did a focus group. I'm going to talk about some stuff here that that is,
and people keep sending your stuff in the Substack chat. We will get to it. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So I did a focus group in 2021. And the focus group, I don't conduct, I commissioned a focus group, I should say. So therefore I got to watch it. And the focus group was, and this is 2021 after January 6th, but before Biden's inauguration. And when you do focus groups, you typically break them down by gender or by race or by education, because people are more prone to talk honestly when they're in their own cohort and not, you know,
they feel like it's safe space.
Basically, right? So when you do focus groups, you do that. So we did 4 nights of focus groups, and night 1 was white. It was college educated voters, predominantly white, but not all white. And when you do focus groups, it's about 10 people per group. So just understand, like, you're not dealing with 100 people, 10 people per group. So everybody can talk. So the first one was college educated voters, mostly white. The second was non-college educated voters, a mix. And if I wish I had more money, because typically I would have broken it out by race or by gender more. People are more honest, but you can only do so much. So the second one was non-college educated voters, a mix. The third was African-American voters, and the fourth was Latino voters. And I want to be very clear, these are just Democratic primary voters, all of these cohorts, right? These are just Democrats. And it was in New Jersey. And it was a statewide New Jersey focus group. And the first focus group was all of these college educated voters, mostly white, were like, remember what was going on. It was right after the George Floyd protests. There's a lot of Black Lives Matter stuff happening. They were all like, defund the police, defund the police.
Oh yeah, that was a big mistake.
So that was, all the white gentrifiers, liberal, progressive people were like, college educated, to fund the police, and this is absurd, and what's happening to the Black community is awful, and you can't have this, and look, they're shooting people on the street, and George Floyd, and that's it, you got to defund the police. Okay. The non-college educated cohort, I'll never forget this. This one woman said, listen, I drive the Garden State Parkway, which is a highway in New Jersey, between mile marker, I'm going to make this up, between mile marker A, mile marker B, there is a pothole. And I have been calling the governor's office, asking for them to fix this pothole for the last 3 governors. I called Chris Christie's office. He didn't do anything about it. I called, even before, I think I called John Corzine's office. This is a Democrat who was governor back in the late 90s. No, the early 2000s. Called his office, nothing. Called Chris Christie's office, nothing. I've been calling Phil Murphy, who's the governor at the time, his office, nothing. I'm not going to vote for one goddamn person again, unless they fix this pothole. Like, she's like, I have gone through either X number of tires over the last decade of trying to get this fixed, or I've had to swerve to avoid this pothole every time so much that I'm worried I'm going to get into a car accident. So like, this is what this woman cared about. Non-college educated. She didn't have time for bullshit. She just wanted her stuff fixed. The Black cohort, literally, these people were like, we don't want to defund the police. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
Why do we want to defund the police? We have kids getting shot on the street here. We don't want to defund the police. We want more police in here. And by the way,
that's how Eric Adams got elected.
Yeah. And by the way, to any white person who wants to defund the police, go defund them. Princeton's a very affluent town in New Jersey. Go defund them in Princeton. Go defund them in Short Hills, another very affluent town.
Right.
Go defund them in your towns. Don't defund them in our towns, because we want them. I mean, it was completely the opposite of what these gentrifying white people thought.
And they'll be the first ones to tell everybody else how it is and how they should think.
Yeah, how it is.
And infantilize in groups entire groups of people.
They will go to black voters and they'll be like, you wanted to fund the police because they're coming to kill you. And the black voters are like, what the fuck are you talking about? We want the police. Like, our kids are getting shot on the street. We don't want to not have a police.
Not to say that the police aren't problematic, because they absolutely are, and need to be reformed in a huge, huge way.
And then you have Latino voters, who I have one last thing, cohort, the most incredible. I love the Latino. They had no time for bullshit. They were like, I'm a small business owner. You lower my taxes. You fix my road so I can get to work on time. I don't have time for any other bullshit. Like, I called them the Janet Jackson cohort. They were like, what have you done for me lately? Like, they were like, right. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get a heads up. I'm sorry. You did something for me a year ago. Don't give a shit about that. What are you doing for me right now? Latino voters, no nonsense, no bullshit. So the reason I'm telling you all this is the only people who are on this crazy, I'm sure now it's gone from defund the police to, free Gaza, free Palestine. Same thing. They're like, free Palestine. I guarantee you Latino voters and black voters and non-college educated voters are like, we don't have time for this shit. Make my life more tangibly better. And that's what these people don't understand. That's what they don't understand. And their bullshit quest that they sent me this email, and I actually started writing an email back to them, and I realized it was going to go to some fucking unmonitored box, but I started writing it. I said, hi, friends. In a district beset by poverty, infant mortality, lack of affordable healthcare, food deserts, and other ills, why are you so obsessed with AIPAC? You have yet to send me one email discussing Dara Elysia's plans to solve this, Medicare for all being the sole exception, but many emails trashing AIPAC, which last I could tell is not the biggest ill plaguing her constituents. Here's what I know about her. She opposes aid for Ukraine despite the fact that a genocide is happening there. Why? She opposes interracial marriage, hardly a progressive position. Why? She once called Joe Biden a rapist, despite the only allegation of rape that he ever had levied against him was by a woman now living in Russia under Putin's protection. Why? And then I stopped because I was like, what's the point? Nobody's going to answer this email. But that's who we're having.
I just got a text message from Daria.
Yeah, is she trashing? Is she trashing you or anybody?
We won, Michelle. This is Daria Liza Vila Chevalier, your Democratic nominee for New York's 13th congressional district, and together we just did the impossible. We did not. Despite millions of outside spending from the DC, do you want to know how much outspending? Like, the entire race was mostly, and a lot of her funding came from outside the district. So okay. This victory belongs to the countless organizers and volunteers who gave their time, sacrifices of my friend Mohammed Khalil, and the direct grassroots support of working people like you here in New York 13. Together, we proved that a movement committed to funding babies, not bombs, abolishing ICE, and building a city and country where working people can thrive, can beat the odds. But the work doesn't stop here. Michelle, we can't take anything for granted. Now we build a year-round organizing infrastructure that connects our communities and supports the project for a more affordable country, city, and up and down the ballot. And I just wrote back, take me off your list. I don't. And then, the other thing, I just want to say this before I go back to the chat here. The thing that pisses me off about a lot of these people too is they look at me because I'm a white woman and I live on the, on the Upper West Side, blah, 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 blah. Like, what do you know about working class? What do you know about this? I'm like, I was raised in a blue collar first responder family of several generations of first responder union workers, by the way, in rural America, in a tiny house on a country road. Don't come to me about what I don't know or what I haven't experienced in my public education. Please give me a break. I like the way that they try to like working class explain things to me. Like, my husband too came from a one income household on Long Island where his dad owned a small business. Like, we both have like put ourselves through school and done all kinds of like stuff on our own. And I really, 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 really resent it. Especially people from New York City who are born and raised here and, have parents with apartments that, they have bought apartments for them and whatever else. Like, please spare me. Anyways, before I have a coronary here about that, I'm going to go back to the chat here. Let's see. Denver Riggleman calls it radicalization. I don't disagree.
What? I missed what you said.
reciprocal radicalization.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Jane from Pittsburgh. I like Denver. By the way, I'm very behind on this chat. I love Denver Rugerman. He's amazing. Truth in a Barrel was so good. Let's see. Last time I visited, I love The Strand. Us too. I was trying to boycott Amazon. I caved a few weeks ago and started ordering stuff again. Made it almost half the year. Fancy Nance 56. Same. I tried for a while. Then I was like, you know what? Time is money, and I don't have time to be running to 15 different stores in the city to find what I need. So Jane from Pittsburgh says, I live north of Pittsburgh. I worked in downtown for many years as we only had a Barnes and Noble that closed many years ago. Oakland around Pitt may have decent bookstore, not really convenient outside the city. Totally understand. The book is in demand. You only get 2 weeks to read it. Exactly. And I'm not a fast reader. RE libraries. Jason Odell said Spinal Tap for the win. Johnny
Jason Odell, of course.
Johnny says Jules Verne books are amazing for end of day mental palate cleansing. Yes. Yes. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Jane from Pittsburgh. Yes. Jane from Pittsburgh. I love Notting Hill. An all-time favorite. Casablanca, though, is number one, of course.
Casablanca is number one. And the best scene from Casablanca is the Marseillaise scene. And by the way, I'm going to say something very controversial. Victor Laszlo for the win. Are you kidding me? Humphrey Bogart was like, I get it. She probably never had sex the way she had sex with Humphrey Bogart.
I know. It's the one Harry Met Sally argument, right?
Yeah, but Victor Laszlo is the hottest man in cinema. He is amazing. I get that he was more in love with, saving the world from like fascism than he was with his wife, but he also loved his wife. And he was and by the way, Paul Henriette, who played Victor Laszlo, also super hot. So there you go.
Yeah. And I was thinking, Midnight. Hold on. What's the guy's name? The actor, Tom Hiddleston. I always felt that if they remade, which they never should, by the way, but every time I see Casablanca, I think that Tom Hiddleston should play Victor Laszlo because he looks just like him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Let's see. Village and another good. Hold on. Oh my God, Denny's. Is that still live? I mean, I think so. Everything Rosie. Michelle, I like those glasses on you. They're a little bit sexy. Thank you. They're from Warby Parker, guys. $95. Let's see. Everything Middle America doesn't give a shit about. Correct. Let's see. Jane from Pittsburgh. I answer those annoying text messages, even though I know no one will ever read them. Just makes me feel better. Same. Big props to Rick for insisting she go with Victor. I mean, honestly, that's from Jason Odell. This is Johnny says, do you guys have any upcoming shows or movies you're excited about?
So
I do.
Well, I think my husband, he just texted me. He's like, remember, next week we're going to go see the show about Bobby Darin. I was like, we're seeing a show about Bobby Darin.
Oh, at Circle in the Square? Yeah.
Michelle?
It's underneath the Gershwin.
Oh, well, I guess so. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah, I think that's where Circle. Well, it's about Bobby Darin.
It's about Bobby Darin, but I don't know what about Bobby Darin. My husband loves Mac the Knife. I don't know that.
And I feel like, is it Connie Francis or is a character in it? I think Connie Francis. There's some, I think so. Yeah.
So I don't know. And then my best friend from college who lives out in San Francisco is coming here in late August. And she is like, I've never seen Book of Mormon. Do you guys want to see Book of Mormon? And I was like, I've never seen Book of Mormon. I'm like the last person in New York to see Book of Mormon. Yeah. So we're all going to see Book of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon. So good. And isn't somebody from the original cast is back in it right now, I think. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, there's like I feel like I've seen a bunch of stuff recently that's like new. I mean, I'm very excited for the next season of Ted Lasso that's coming out this summer. It's taking place, I believe, in no, they're going back to England, I think, but there's something in America, but it's women's soccer, and I'm very excited. And I think Johnny here works on Ted Lasso, so you tell me.
Oh, really? So, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
I think so. Yes, I work on Lasso. Yes.
So Johnny,
is it a
women's team or what's the deal? And by the way,
women's
Johnny,
team.
Is Jason Sudeikis cool in real life? I've heard mixed feelings. I've heard mixed reviews.
I don't
Tell
know that
us.
he'll tell us. I don't know that he'll tell
Yeah,
us.
tell us. We won't tell anybody.
This is his boss. This is his boss. Yeah, I'm waiting to. I'm sure he's typing. Jason is wonderful.
Oh, it's wonderful.
See, there you go.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to
See,
know.
I love Brett. Who I'm like, my brain is going blank now. The one of the head writers who plays Roy Kent, Goldstein, and he's also one of the head writers and creators of Shrinking. He also did this great movie. Remember, I told you and Dana about it's kind of this futuristic tech Black Mirror inspired. Like there's some technology that basically pairs every person on Earth with their soulmate, and it's like a dating thing, and it's like, but it takes the joy basically out of life, and is it really real and is it not, and he falls in love with his best friend and she found her person. Anyways, it's a great movie. Everybody should go watch it. It's devastating though. It's so sad.
Okay.
Let's see. Bobby Darin was married to Sandra Dee. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who the other woman is in this show. Hold on. Bobby Darin. Oh, and Julie and I are going to go see a play. We need to buy tickets.
I thought you were going to be away.
Yeah, I know, but like it's running until I think the end of July or August or something. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. Bobby Darin musical Broadway. Bobby Darin, Just in Time. It's called. That's the show you're going to see. Just in Time.
Okay.
Oh my God, Julie. They are.
What?
I don't know if you saw this. They're reviving A Few Good Men on Broadway at Lincoln Center with Bradley Whitford.
Oh, playing the Tom Cruise role?
I assumed the Jack Nicklaus one. He's too old to play the Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm assuming. Okay. You're not as excited about this as I am, but I'm very excited, and I saw it on Instagram yesterday, so I'm very excited to see that. And there's like a good amount of like new shows coming. I mean, obviously, I'm watching that Tom Hanks thing that you told me not to tell your husband about, which I'm loving. But there's lots of good stuff happening, and the play that we're gonna go see is at City Center, and it's about the Red Scare, right?
Yeah.
It is called, I'll tell you right now, hold on. Bob Odenkirk was on Morning Joe talking about it the other day. It's called Are You Now or Have You Been? And it runs through September 11th. So we have time to see this, but I still want to get tickets before it sells out. It's a great cast. Norbert Leo Butz, Bob Odenkirk, Molly Ringwald. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. So
great. Okay. All right. Well, we have been at this for over an hour. And we want to thank everybody here for being our wonderful paid subscribers. And anybody who wants to become a paid subscriber and join us for these weekly AMAs, we would really appreciate it, because we're really trying to build something here at Mayday, and to be blunt, spending money out of our own pocket to do it. And so that you can give us would be fantastic. Really, really appreciate it. So if you want to go over, people who are on YouTube, who want to go over to Substack and sign up and become paid subscribers, would be deeply, deeply grateful to you. And I am hopefully, I still have a day or two here in Boston, so I might be doing this prison. I feel like I'm in a brick wall. I feel like I'm in a prison.
I know. It's like, Julie.
Is my internet also weird?
Yeah, it's bad. It's been bad pretty much for most of the hour.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that, guys.
We got to get you like an Ethernet cord, like to plug into the actual thing in your hotel. That'll help.
I don't plan on being in this much longer. So yeah.
Well, and just so, go ahead.
Let me just say this. It's been wonderful here because, the World Cup is taking place in Boston, one of the cities where it's taking place. And so there were a bunch of Brits here when we got here a few days ago. We were basically the only non-English people in the whole hotel, except we ran into one Scottish guy. And I was like, you dragged the city dry. He's like, I know, we're very proud of that. So that was great. Um, really
That's
nice
great.
guy. And then they're all gone. And I think the Norwegians have now moved into the hotel because I think the Norway-France game is on Friday. And my son is we're all rooting because my family, we're all rooting for France. So he's wearing his Mbappe shirt and he's yelling "Allez le bleu" everywhere he goes. And which is the only thing in French that after 3 years of French he knows, unfortunately. So it's great. It's great. We're all these Norwegians.
Kevin Cox is asking, have the English fans behaved?
Yes, not only the English fans behaved, but I think some famous British podcaster, sportscaster guys staying in this hotel because they were doing before the game yesterday, a very high-end broadcast from across the Starbucks in the hotel, like with their earphones. Like they're not having internet problems. They're very, very organized. So I think there are people here who if you're an English sports fan, you might recognize. I do not, but they looked like they, I don't know if they were BBC or whoever they were with, but very they had a whole production situation going on. So yes, they behaved. They were wonderful. And also very nice to see families with kids, like a lot of English kids here, British kids here.
That's cool.
So lucky for them that their parents were able to score tickets for them.
Yeah. Everything Rosie said, oh my God, have you seen the Norwegian players Viking photo shoot? Oh my God, yum.
Oh my God, Rosie, some of them, I don't know about those guys, but there are a bunch of Norwegians who just moved into this hotel and I'm with my son. So I'm trying to not be like side-eyeing them and checking them out, but I got to say.
I mean,
yeah.
Don't hate it.
No complaints about who I'm running into on my way to breakfast in the mornings when I'm not at our house.
Exactly. It could be worse. I will say also in terms of internet issues, I found out last night, Julie, that because I said to Joe, I was like, why is it I have a new computer? I have, I plug the Ethernet directly into my laptop. Why am I still having like lagging issues when I do lives? And apparently, like if you have over X amount of devices running in your house, you should like do whatever level of internet it is that you're supposed to have. And we don't have that. So I'm going to be upgrading my internet here pretty soon. And hopefully things will be much better. But also just as a programming note, I am going away starting tomorrow. I'm going to Martha's Vineyard for 5 days.
We're going to Commonwealth, Massachusetts. You're going to be right not down the road.
I know. I've never been to Martha's Vineyard. I really have wanted to always go. And my husband, I've had a little bit of a rough, first half of my year has been a little, difficult on a personal note. And my husband said, we deserve to go somewhere and enjoy ourselves for days, even if it's going to rain and, maybe not be the best weather. We're still going to go. And so I may be around, I may not be around, but we'll see. But Julie will definitely be around.
So I'll tell you some programming notes. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am doing a live with Joel Rubin to talk about foreign policy and just a lot of other stuff. At 11, I think Olga and I are back on. She's been traveling a little bit, so she's not around. Friday, Jeff Jarvis and I will be on for our usual breaking news if Michelle can make it great. Saturdays for Sanity will be here on Saturday, so don't worry about that. We're doing that. Dana and Lawrence, or Dana or Lawrence are going to join, so we're going to be here. Make it great. If not, but life will continue. It will be not as good without Michelle, but it will continue until Michelle is back. Which is going to be when Michelle.
I'll be back. Yeah, I'll be back Tuesday night, which is my birthday. And my mother and father-in-law so kindly are coming to stay in my apartment to watch our cats for the whole time, which is like so kind of them. So we're just, I'm very, somebody asked about my cat, actually. He's okay. He's a little slower lately, and he's just, he's going to be 15 this summer. He looks good. Like he's just, he just moves a little slower, and it makes me a little sad. Johnny asked, when is Lieutenant Colonel Urso going to be coming back? She is in Europe, and she has been like walking around Europe for like a month.
God.
So
you guys,
like,
if you
follow her on Instagram. You'll see all the stuff she's been doing. So
amazing.
Really her. husband and I barely talk to her, so she's she's having herself a good old time in Europe, but she'll be back soon.
Yeah. And then I forgot, somebody here said, what about Pox? Is Pox back? Yeah, it should be back. If Olga's around. She was not around last week, so that's why she's got stuff with her parents that she had to do. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good to see you guys, everybody. Thank you. And Rosie, she isn't thinking about us. I don't think she is thinking about us. I think she's
probably not.
I think she's having last time I checked,
Probably
she's
not.
like, I'm up there crawling. I'm in Greece,
Yeah.
on a random like Greek island. I'm at, I'm at Mont Saint Michel in Brittany or Normandy.
To be 47 years old and retired, my goodness, it's like she's enjoying her retirement. Not that she's gonna be, doing that forever, but she's enjoying herself, and I'm happy for her. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, really appreciate it. If you could throw a few bucks over and become paid subscribers on the Mayday Network, that would be really great. For those of you who aren't, for those of you who are, we are so deeply grateful to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we will see you all. I will see you all tomorrow. Michelle, you have the best, safest drive, flight, however you're getting to the vineyard. Buy me a Black Dog t-shirt. Buy me a Black Dog t-shirt if you see it. If you're by the Black Dog, I would like you to bring me back a t-shirt. And other than that, all right. Other than that, we're good. All right, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.